There. Now we are recording.
I see on the Roku display Pretty Woman's coming across. That sounds weird, but the point is the
Joe's
movie.
looking at Pretty Women.
No.
Did you hear how I said that?
Pretty Women? Like Little Women?
But like woman and women and women together. 3 different versions.
So I always misspelled all of those because they I just kind of mixed and matched women. No, Pretty Woman, the movie. Richard Gere.
Yes.
Is that how you say his name?
Uh-huh.
He said no. He said no to the casting of Julia Roberts.
Okay.
This is what I was told. Okay. So I think it's in the show, The Movies That Made Us. So if you want to double check me, you can. But anyway.
Okay. I'm familiar with that. I just hadn't watched past like the first episode.
Same. I hadn't gotten to that point, and I was actually talking. I think it was Everett that mentioned this. And it's just a side note. I'm not condoning any movies or anything. I'm just saying that it was pretty interesting. That
it's your favorite movie?
No. Oh my gosh. No, he said no, and so the producers, I guess, or director or the powers that be flew her like to him. Basically, they all showed up. Okay, they didn't just fly her over there, but they all showed up. And they brought her in and basically said, now, do you want to do the movie? And he said, yes.
That was like the biggest letdown I've ever heard in my life. Why? Why did that happen?
I don't know. Apparently, after seeing her and meeting her, he's like, wow, she's going to be awesome to work with. That's what I'm assuming is being meant by this whole thing. But that's all I know is that that's the basic premise of, that's what I was told. Okay. I don't know.
I didn't know what else to do after that one.
There it goes across the screen again.
I just kind of let that one go.
That's all right. No comment is sometimes the best way to go. So I totally get that. I have no idea. But that's why we're doing this pod. This is Joe Ken Around. Not philosophical ideas and thoughts with Dr. Whatever, right?
Yeah, see, you're
what? So I have to
your mic is
wall.
So stinking directional.
Okay, wait.
You can't look at me when you talk to me.
Give a sec. Here comes. Okay. How about if I look now? It's a little tinny though, isn't it?
Well, it's okay.
So
it's okay.
There's that. That's
but
the circle
like
one. So that's omnidirectional now.
Well, it's gonna pick more of me up. You can probably hear me better than you can that. Okay.
No.
We're just gonna
wait. It's coming. Wait for it, and we're almost there. There we are.
Yeah. See, that's really good. It's a really good, close presence.
All right, I like this. Well, I went to the infinity thing, so I don't know what that is. Which one's that one?
Infinity.
Yeah, there's 3 different types of patterns.
That's probably front and back, you think?
Yeah, probably. Seemed pretty clear.
That told me nothing.
He just snaps in the middle of the room. We have 2 mics. I don't know. I'll stick with the original, give it 2 seconds.
It sounds good to me here. Yep.
Okay, I'm coming here. Wait, and there I am. Okay, I'm gonna stick with this, and I'll basically
You're in the sweet spot on the level here.
Okay, awesome, dude. It's good to be back, and we are in. Well, my studio in the studio. What is it? What are we at? 500 miles underground. What are we up to?
500 miles?
Oh. I think I jumped a little too fast there. Each time it seems to get further down.
Well, welcome to Joe Ken Around. I'm Ken, and over there is Mr. Joe. And together we are Joe Ken Around, and we are coming to you in a bunker under 500 miles underground, nickel-plated, with the machine guns and a serpent.
Wait, the serpent?
I'm looking at a serpent on the wall.
Oh, yes, you
that
are.
is coiled and ready to strike.
Amen.
Don't tread on me, 1776.
That's right.
Where does that flag come from?
I can't tell you.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
I can't actually say this on a record. No, I can tell you a little bit, but I'll say this. It's a top secret. I'm not lying. If you look at it, you will see a top secret CIA pin that is on this flag. It was flown in a top secret location during a top secret time of mission. And that's about as much as I can tell you about it, to be honest with you.
So I have a story for you, actually. I don't know if I told you about this.
You were okay.
You said top secret in this, rang my brain.
Yes.
He shared this information with me quite openly. And so anyways, doing an interview for work. We're looking for drivers, right? We had a guy come in and interview with us. This gentleman was quite old.
Ooh, okay.
He wanted to be a driver, right? He was quite old. In fact, he was 86.
Yeah.
He wanted to drive a fuel truck. 86.
What?
Okay. And he came in one day, real short guy. He looked like Bob Newhart, but older.
But older. Okay.
Yeah. Extremely polite, guy came in. We did the interview and everything. He was saying, yeah, I have all my certifications, Class A, hazmat, TWIC card, triples, doubles, quadruples, Google Plexels.
There's no way that exists.
But then,
that's a train.
My boy, he's certified to drive a fuel train on the road.
On the road. Okay.
He said, and I have my top secret clearance. And I was like, okay, do you mean your TWIC card? He's like, no, top secret clearance. He said, I worked Secret Service for the president for 8 years.
What?
He said, I was also a fighter pilot in Vietnam.
Oh, man,
as well.
That's legit.
Yeah. That was the first time I got to talk to somebody that had both of those experiences.
Wow.
I don't think I've ever talked to a Secret Serviceman.
You have now, probably.
This was the first time.
Yeah.
For me, but that just reminded me of that, and so I was like, wow.
So I just got back from a trip, and on that trip, I actually was with a couple of people. One being, though, kind of a peak, if you will, of, since we're talking about top secret, SEAL
top secret.
SEAL Team 6 member, and I don't know. I think he's like a I don't know if I'm going to get this wrong, a squad leader or whatnot. In other words, he definitely did some leading. I'll just say that. But anyway, Robert O'Neill.
Oh.
Yes. So he is...
The Robert O'Neill?
Yes, the Robert O'Neill.
Isn't he the one that is credited with...
double tapping. Yes.
Yeah.
Double tapping Osama bin Laden.
The Bin Laden guy.
Yes,
right?
sir.
Wow.
Well, I guess we don't even necessarily have to talk about it a lot, but it was very cool to hear because I've met him. This would be like the fourth time that I've seen him. The first time I saw him, he signed my jacket. The inside of it, I collect veterans only, and those who are even current servicemen and women. They're allowed to sign the jacket, and it's really only just to remind me of what I do and why I do what I do. And I take that jacket pretty much to every show that I do. I don't always wear it, but if I do wear one, it's probably that one. And anyway, I do it to...
How many signatures do you think you have on it?
Ooh, I would say at least 12, probably closer, anywhere from 12 to 20.
Okay.
And I could probably, if I had it with me, I could start going down the line and get a better...
Did you ever have somebody try to sign it? You're like, no.
There was a close call once, and yeah, I would feel bad if they were. It wasn't like, oh, cool, I want to sign it too. It wasn't quite like that. It was just like, it would be funny if I were to sign this too, and I was like, yeah, I do this just with military, and it gave me the opportunity to make sure I was saying the right message, which is very key to me for this one in particular.
Okay.
I mean, I meet other people. I've got a Arnold Schwarzenegger signed painting in just around the corner there. Yeah, not jacket. I have a T-shirt that's signed. It was the first time I met him.
Oh, okay.
And I fangirled out. But
do you have different jackets for different events? So you have a closet full of different things that people sign?
Kind of. There's a couple of things like that. I mean, there's a few jerseys. There's one behind my head here that was Draymond Green.
I see the Golden State Warriors one here. Yep.
I can't, without turning around and you not hearing me. There's like another one that's a Bucks one that is special, but I didn't know which side to show because the back has my name. They had it, made into my own jersey, which is really cool. But anyway,
Orlando, Clippers, Bucks, and Spurs over here.
Yeah.
Yep.
We kind of made this the lounge room, the basketball room, if you will. So the other room, the main studio area, is more about the hockey. And I've got a closet full of jerseys. It started getting expensive putting them all into glass cases. But that was the original goal because I didn't know I'd have that many.
You're like, oh, I got one. Let's put it up on the wall.
Exactly.
Make it all nice,
exactly. Yeah. So. But back to the original, yes, I do have a couple of jackets. I started another one. Super cool story, really, really quick. There is a guy, not just any old guy. This is Johnny. I'm just going to give you his first name. He served. He has no feet. Okay. They were blown off.
Okay.
And he served in the military.
Purple Heart.
Yep.
Winner.
Yes. And he is an outstanding man. And he's worked closely with presidents and a number of people like that. But anyway, he is a good friend of mine. I met him at an event called the Carrington Foundation. And that was the first time I decided to do the jacket signing. So he was the first person to sign my jacket. And the whole reason why I did it then was I was getting a lot of attention. And I felt like there were a lot of people, it was exciting. We did the painting and everything. And I leaned over to Everett and I was like, I want to make like a scene for the veterans that are there though. Like make it about them.
Right. Bring the attention back to them.
Yeah. So I was like, what I could do is like, everyone's like, oh, cool. The artist. And he's got paint on him and let's go talk to him and all that stuff. Right. And so as they were coming.
Paint on him. Is that a big deal?
You'd be surprised how often.
You got paint on you.
I think it's just an easy opener for conversation.
So, like, what do you do with the paint that's on you?
I'll get the funny thing is usually it's like, so are you the artist? And it's
like a question you put out there while you're trying to think of the actual question.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like. Yeah, I did the same thing when I did that with the. Oh my goodness!
You go up to Arnold Schwarzenegger, you're like. Muscles to Terminator. I love you.
You're strong. You lift weights ever?
Do you like me?
Humans.
So they come up, talk about the paint.
Yeah, so they see the the paint, and usually it's hey, you got a little paint on you. That's the other one.
Oh,
it's like you got a little something on you there.
Oh, and these are all fathers, I'm assuming.
There are quite a few of them that are the dad
jokes.
Yep, you got it.
Yep.
But nice. So that was the original intent, if you will, in the direction I started going with things, and it worked. I guess is what I'm trying to say, and I'm really glad it did because I felt like this could be really awkward or it could really work, and I asked them, and it caused me to have to come down to their level too, because some of them might be like bound in a wheelchair or whatever situation it was. Another guy who is one of the only, I think it's triple amputee vets still alive. I had him sign one, and it was really cool. He did this little thing where he's like, he shakes your hand, and then he has his arm come off, and he's a speaker, and he's so awesome. I had another guy, really, really awesome hero, as well, and he doesn't have his legs. And he signed it. He was like number 2 on the jacket, and he wrote "You to bomb," and a bomb blew off his legs, and he knew what he was writing. Like this isn't that it's beautiful. Like we take it as awkward, and they like use it to make it into something that they can communicate with, and that's the beauty of it. And I learned that very fast. Like they almost enjoy making you feel a little awkward at first, but they got to deal with it, on a level that's like I gotta, I wake up and there's no legs there, so
yeah,
I either wake up to this and understand it and move on, or you know what I mean.
So I spent some time, actually. It's funny you say this. This is a sidebar, real quick. I spent some time working with developmentally disabled adults, and that's the exact same feeling or something you had to get over first if you start working with something like that.
Sure.
A lot of people, when you see somebody that's mentally handicapped or disabled or something like that, it's very standoffish. You don't know how to approach them.
Sure.
You almost want to come in apologizing to them.
Yeah.
Like you're like, I'm so sorry you're like this. But that is like, as far as
kind of a turn off to them.
It's almost the opposite.
Yeah.
So I spent years working with them, and once I got over, like, I believe that God is, doesn't make mistakes, right? So these people are just as special as you and me, right?
Yep.
And I kind of had a heart for them, and so once you got over the feeling sorry for them, because they don't feel sorry for themselves.
You're right. Yeah.
Like then you could laugh and joke and have real relationships with people on different levels beyond that point. Mm-hmm. So I think that's where, when you come to somebody that's different like that, whatever it is, different race, different culture, disabled mentally or physically.
Right.
Once you break that barrier of like, wow, they're so different from me, and then realize the value, there's no value difference. Cause that's
the key. That's where, you're hitting it now.
That's a big hurdle to get over when, you're brought up in a really sheltered home or people that are just like you your whole life, and you go outside your comfort zone. So that I connected with that because that's how I got to expand my horizons.
I remember you working
for stuff like that.
I remember coming to visit and watching you, in that mode, like already past that level, and introducing me to some of the guys and girls that were there and everything. And totally agree. Like I had that first initial, like, I don't know what to do. And that's okay too. It's not like you can't feel those things right away.
Hop right into it. I mean, even for somebody that's, work with it, every person's different.
Yeah.
And especially if somebody's got some really strong
like personalities.
Yeah, personalities. Or, you coming up, the guy only has one arm, it's like just even the first interaction with him, like, man. Hey, are you gonna high five this guy, or are you gonna try to shake his hand?
And what's up, dude? One of the first things he does too is like just reach out with that hand. And he's like, oh no, I can crush your hand. I'll get it out. Or he'll do like it's because it's motorized or whatever, and it's just, or he can keep spinning it, like just continually pop it off and then pop it off at the, like further at the arm. But anyway, he
recognizes it's awkward for you, and he's attempting to make you feel better.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Like that's, he actually takes it that far to, and a lot of them do. But anyway, I consider myself more than lucky. Lucky's not even the word. I don't really necessarily believe in that, of course. But providentially, the path that has been chosen for me and where I've worked myself into as well has been crazy to be able to meet some of these folks. And they're my favorite.
Favorite people.
They're my favorite people out
Veterans.
of all of them. Yep.
Warriors,
man. Heroes. I keep running into them, and they're the most... real people you'll meet. I'm not saying they're all perfect. What do you think is the biggest
hurdle for them?
Oh man,
current, like the people that come back.
Well, I was gonna go there in the sense that they are going to face a world of things when they do come back. So a lot of these charities are all dealing with these men and women trying to re-implement themselves. So you take someone who is a absolute professional at what they do.
because they go in as civilians.
Oh, man.
They get broken down like a horse. You know, break the will and the mind. They get completely reprogrammed to do, you know, one thing: follow orders, do your job. Whether you're a killer or a, infantry or doing it yourself or helping somebody else to do it.
Which by the way, and Everett was talking to me once again. Everett, shout out to my man, Everett, who's always traveling with me. He was like super impressed, and I hope I'm not misrepresenting him or making it. He didn't say anything negative about anybody. He was like, I can't believe how much smarter they actually are. And when he's saying they, he's meaning like every time we come in contact with them, you know, in other words, there are jokes out there like they're just leatherheads or, you know, like lumps,
oh yeah, drones,
you know, right? Yeah, they just kind of do and they don't think. And you start talking to them about their missions and what they had to come up with on the spot and how to like adapt, right? And all those things. So they're taught to think.
It's less
they're just mission minded.
There you go. It's less about not thinking at all. It's about removing all other distractions. So they think about one thing.
There it is. That's 100% it. And that was one of the Rob O'Neill was giving a little bit of a speech, and he was talking about how, you know, you have that mission and you learn how to operate within that mission. And once you come up with a plan, and 100% that plan's going to fail. So he talked about his actual mission going in after Osama bin Laden. And the very first thing that happened was something that one of the youngest guys on the team brought up. He was like, so I know we've gone over this like a million times, basically. And he's like, but what if the helicopter crashes?
Oh.
And he said they actually they were like, oh, come on. Like
if anything's certain, the helicopter is going to be fine.
Yeah, like that can't be
once we're
thing.
there.
but I think he implied that they also talked about that and they came up with a plan for everything, you know? So that's the idea. You come up with your plan.
I'm sure there's levels. There's levels, you know.
There's layers to it, man.
Generals and people that are overall big picture things.
Definitely.
Completely different than somebody that's, you know, private first class.
But going back to your point, you're 100% correct. Like they're dealing with this. Like I just literally became a master at something, and you know, it's like, what do I do now? And but a lot of these companies are finding out that these guys are top of the line thinkers. They didn't go to all the schools and get all the training, so there's like a disconnect, right? So excuse me, in between being a professional at what they were doing before, it's still all about them leading some guys. And like, how could that not be usable, you know, in a mission and having a mission and being determined to see out that mission. And then, you know, you got a company. I don't know what there's like a little squeaky sound coming out, but you got like sorry about that, everybody.
It wasn't me.
I don't know. That was you.
It wasn't me. I had my mic on mute.
Okay. I don't know what that was. Anyway, you know, these guys are trained and everything in a very, very high level. And then they come over and it's like, well, where's your paperwork for, you know, your years of working at XYZ company, and what's your, you know, all your history of work? It's like, well, I like took out bombs and like, you know, things like that. And it keeps squeaking and distracting me.
I'm sorry. It's a power thing, I think.
Is it power? Wait.
Yeah, it must be power.
Okay. I thought it was when I was overpowering it.
No, I think it's just like literally just like
it's just squeaking.
Yeah. You gotta get some new mics.
Oh my goodness.
I
think you know where I was going with that, right?
Yes, because they're overqualified.
There you go.
For all the wrong things now in civilian life.
Right.
They've been trained to do all these things that you can't use necessarily.
Well, okay, so you can, but they can't prove it on paper.
Yeah.
See, so like you and I, if we wanted to work for, let's say it was like, for whatever reason, we wanted to work for, you know, Google or Apple or whatever. Well, they want to know, okay, well, you know, give us no, it needs to be even bigger than that, right? So we're talking like major company, whatever. Anyway, and you show up and you're like, well, yeah, I was a radio communications guy. Okay, well, where's like, you don't have the school level required to be as high up the chain as some of these people really should be. So what happens is a lot of these charities step in the middle and they take them through these like training courses of how to apply all those principles into something and then show them off to other companies and people in the room. So that's 100% what's happening. And it's really, really cool. So you got big cheeses, if you will, of companies that are, there to help support the charity, for instance. And then they've got some guys and girls that have served or are serving in some cases at the same event.
Yeah.
And they're like, check this out. Like, are you sure like you don't have a place for this person? Right. And then they go, oh my gosh, they're awesome. And I have the perfect spot. That's like a really rough way of saying it all.
Yeah. And then there's other charities that do like PTSD stuff as well.
Yeah. So that's where they'll kind of come to them. So a lot of times these guys will, just like I would do. I mean, anyone would do. You kind of enclose up, right? You kind of disappear a little bit because you don't know how else to handle it. And so a lot of that becomes a very like inward, I don't want to hurt anybody else. Like, it's all, I'm just no good, but I can't tell anyone that.
Yeah.
So now they're kind of going downward, and maybe they turn to a drug or they turn to, whatever it might be. That kind of, it's a dark path where you just take one more step down to like, I have no use. Yep. What am I doing? Right. Especially some of the guys, for instance, that, have something blown off or whatever it is. And they're like, well, I'm no good to my family.
Yeah.
So a lot of these companies will be, or if they're kind of a loner, don't have some of the service dogs are a really big deal with that. There's some awesome training, like, setups for, I know of one company where you go out and you get to work with horses. And that one was really cool because some of these guys just fall in love with the training and reconnecting with an animal that's that powerful and that beautiful and that connected. Like they have that sense. I don't know, I guess I could be getting way off, but I know that horse people are going to be like, yes, it's so true.
Horse people.
Hey, that's what I call them. The equestrians.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. Oh yeah. The horse peoples.
They have that
we
other
had some
sense,
horse peoples
man.
growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah. We lived out in the country that they had horses and stuff and people that, yep. I work with horses a couple summers, one summer at camp.
What do you mean you worked with horses?
I work with the horses. So at family camp.
Family
camp. I was
you worked with horses.
I volunteered to work with like the trail ride. And the Harrisons, I think, provided all the horses and stuff.
That's right.
And take them. And my job was to lead the little pony one with the kids. And then the little kid went behind. So literally everybody else was riding except me. So I had to walk the entire like 4-mile trail. And then when I got back, I had to take the 80 ticks off my ankles because we're going through like high grass and everything.
Because that was all northern Wisconsin. Right?
Yep. And in the summer.
Oh man.
But actually there was a couple times where I did that like for a while and then I got to actually ride when we would go and there wouldn't be a lot.
I hope so.
It wouldn't be a full crew.
Did you ride the little pony?
Feeder dragon. Yeah, but then like there was a couple times where you had to like control the horses and stuff, but the horses can sense if you're nervous or not.
Yes.
And so like there's certain ones you're like, no, you're not getting on, big Bucktooth over there because he'll kill you because he knows you're a newbie. He'll try to run you off the tree.
So I'm not lying. That's exactly what these trainers were telling us. And we watched a video on how that actually happened for a number of the guys, but there was one life story in particular that they brought out. And that's what instantly the horse knew. Like there were some needs in this human, and that's what's, and it took, and it gives them something to conquer, something to do again, something to, face fears. Cause that's what these guys do. Yeah. Like every day they were facing death in the face. Yep. Some of them, not everyone, but on different levels, and you're staring at yourself in that way. And then, you just go back to like quiet, whatever. And you're just alone with your thoughts with that,
Yeah, it's a big change.
Yep. A lot of good hunts and things like that are really cool too. Like I went pheasant hunting with a bunch of the guys. That was awesome. That was my first time.
Were you in back or in front?
Well, they were kind of in pairs.
Or no?
Yeah. No,
okay.
no. We walk. You kind of walk. You're supposed to walk side by side for the most part. I mean, once you get on the bird, you kind of circle around it a little bit. Obviously, you don't want to shoot each other, so you're supposed to wait. And
you're not supposed to be past a half semicircle and like a half circle.
If we weren't,
like the angles aren't supposed to be greater than what, like 30%.
We may have
30 degrees. I think
we may have not so abided by degrees, that.
Like looking at each other, like don't shoot me in the face.
Yeah. There was one time. So this was definitely a gentleman hunt, if you want to call it that, and in the sense that it wasn't. The birds were wild, hunting? But yeah, it felt like it.
On horses.
Oh, they were beautiful
and boots,
beautiful shotguns. I mean, you're talking like top end. They had multiple dogs, professional trainers.
Okay, so it was that then. I was trying to make a joke, and you're like,
no,
yes, actually,
this is actually 100%.
And actually, I got a monocle, and I wore a vest with an ascot.
I wore a vest. I did not have an ascot, but I did have a vest, and it was really cool. Oh, what I was gonna say. Blue, hello. Yeah.
Did you shoot anything?
Yeah, I got 2 birds.
What did you do with the birds?
So they actually
shot?
Well, they serve it up as food. I don't know if that's exactly like if we had my birds, but they collect them at the end and they turn them into some wonderful grub.
Wow, you actually got to eat it.
Yeah. What was it? Oh, now these birds, you basically had to like kick them to get them to fly up.
And just shoot them on the ground. You walk up, the bird just sitting there like, bang.
Oh man,
you're
getting some nasty emails now, Ken, to the account. How dare you?
I never went bird hunting
Ken,
before.
It's your fault. You were shooting birds on the ground.
I never shot a bird in my life. I did kill a chipmunk though one time.
Did you feel bad?
I got so sick to my stomach. I was very young. I was actually at neighbor's house, and we had a pellet gun, a pellet pistol. It was the CO2 one.
Oh yeah, those were fun.
We were running around the woods,
Wait, is this Michigan or Wisconsin or where?
Wisconsin. So probably 5th grade, 6th grade.
Okay, all right. And I was like, how young are we talking here?
Yeah,
I was 1 year old.
1 years.
1 year old. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, and there was a little chipmunk. Everybody was shooting at like, and couldn't hit it. It's so tiny. And I was like, let me see that. I want to try it. And I tried to be a marksman and like really aimed at it. And he kind of stopped, turned around, went bam, and flipped over, and was like twitching. And I was like,
got him.
Oh,
so
I just killed an animal.
Oh man.
I was like, ugh. And I went over and looked at it and I just like started crying.
Oh.
Yep. There you go.
That was the first. Hey, have you shot anything since? I mean, obviously we're not stone.
I've never gone
killers like
I've
that,
never gone
Ken
hunting.
Right. Okay.
Specifically.
Yep.
Lots of target shooting.
Yep.
Rifles, pistols, revolvers,
right.
Shotguns. I love that, but I've never gone hunting. A lot of guys at work go hunting.
We should go.
Tell me about it.
We should go sometime.
I have no idea what we're doing.
Oh yeah, come on. We've got some friends that do. My father-in-law was, I think, still on a trip right now out west.
Yeah, it's in season right now.
Yeah.
Yep. My pastor, if he's listening to this, shout out to him. He is a big time hunter.
Yeah.
Big time hunter. He hunts like everything: deer, bird, pheasants,
nice,
ducks, crickets.
What does he shoot the crickets with? Like spitwads?
Oh, but he really gets into it, and he's a bearded Jeep loving outdoorsman. Really fun guy.
I've met him. That does not surprise me.
Yep. No, it's very true.
That's awesome.
Joe, where are your glasses?
So they are at the bottom of the ocean in Florida.
What happened to your glasses?
Oh man. So this is fun.
I know it was a very abrupt change. I just had no idea how to switch into it.
That's fine. Yeah, my eyes are like burning because I'm wearing contacts and I probably had them in too long, and I've only been wearing them for like 2 days now. So
have you ever worn contacts before?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But the girl that I was dating back in the day flipped a paper football into my eye. It got infected. And then I went and saw a doctor. I have an allergy to sulfa. He recommended a eye drop.
This was in Florida?
No,
the
sorry.
girl that you were dating?
No, that would no. Let's walk that back. You asked a question about me wearing contacts, and you reminded me of another story. So,
this is when you first.
Yes, back in Wisconsin.
I've never heard this story.
Yeah, this actually happened. So I used to wear
a paper
like
a paper football.
Yeah, and I guess I say dating. It was kind of a loose, like it was like we both kind of liked each other. But anyway, yeah, yeah, exactly.
It was probably a love note.
Or it was I hate you, and here's an infection. I'm gonna put an infection in your eyeball.
Oh, that's very not nice. That is
very
harsh.
Very.
That is harsh.
You were even starting to get in that Wisconsin a little bit.
I was thinking about it, and I.
They're in a little bit in the eyeball.
She got real upset.
Well, anyway, the doctor prescribed something. Well, it must have had sulfa, the drug sulfa, in it because it was basically causing me to go blind.
What?
Yes, I'm not lying. I was irritating that one eye especially, and the doctor's like, yeah, make sure you keep putting these in there, and there was something funny about him anyway. Mom and I both, yes, eye drops. Mom and I both were like, man, that was he just seemed too quick. Like, oh, this will be fine. Take this. You're going to be fine.
Yeah. Okay.
It was one of those situations. So I'm like, okay. And I'm putting these in. I'm like, Mom, it's burning. Like it hurts putting them in. I'm
allergic to sulfa drugs as well.
Okay.
Yep.
So you would have, and anyway, we went and saw a different doctor and he's like, I can't believe that doctor subscribed this to you because.
Where did you meet this doctor?
Well,
the back of a van.
Yeah. Kind of. Iron Mountain, Michigan.
It's like, I can't have you calling the police.
Yeah, the po. No, he wouldn't talk that way if he
wasn't from around there.
Oh my gosh. Anyway,
you got the $20.
ever since, yeah, and the sandwich. I'm hungry.
I'll get you them eye drops.
I made them. I made these eye drops.
It was irritating your eye. You have an allergic reaction to it.
Yes. And they said, all right, get rid of don't wear the contacts. You need your eyes to rest. Here's the right stuff to use. This will help. And I just never, set them and got used to glasses again. And I actually like glasses for my look anyway.
You've never had contacts since then.
Right. So that'd be like 10th grade. Something.
Wow.
Yeah. It was like riding a bike, as they say. Like, I know it's not always that easy for everybody, but I just kind of went, oh, yeah, and put it in, I was good to go. Yeah, I mean, it was
eyeballs.
Yeah. Although the left eye has a little bit of astigmatism, and so the contact itself is just a little bit funky. And I told the lady, I need to back up and probably tell the story, but the eye doctor lady who's helping me for basically be able to see for the night because I was about to do a painting. I was like, look, I don't care. Like, I just need to be able to see anything you've got so that I can. I'm extremely
painting the wall. They're like, and here's Joe. He's over there, no pants, drawn on the wall. He's like, oh, hey, can you? All over the place. And people are like, wow. That was amazing.
Honestly, it'd be like
buy that wall.
Yeah, I love that was amazing.
It's so abstract.
It was so
I love the way you
real.
Tripped into the wall and used the blood from your nose to finish the stripes.
Oh, nasty. Oh man, this is our most X-rated one yet.
Wow.
So I decided to do, what are those called? The stand-up boards. I almost said boogie board. It's not a boogie board. I know what a boogie
paddle
board is.
Boards?
Yeah, paddle boards. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
So we did, I was like, I've never done that.
Ocean?
Yeah, in the ocean.
I don't go in the ocean anymore.
Oh, man. We did. Well, this time we
Ever
didn't
since I almost got eaten by a shark.
What?
I was swimming in the ocean. Nobody else was in there. I was in Florida on like Naples side, and it was like it was like the quote unquote cold time when the cold waters are coming in. That's when the sharks come in. Apparently, I'm out there. I'm swimming, and Ruth Ann doesn't swim.
Okay, so she wasn't
not very
out.
well. She wasn't out there. I'm out there because I'm used to the Great Lakes. You know.
Yeah, I remember attacking the waves.
Yeah, just go out there and just swim, and I'm out there swimming. I was really far away and didn't have my glasses. I didn't have contacts at the time. Yeah, all by myself, and I'm looking around, and I am literally the only one out there for miles, like one way and the other way. I was like, that's kind of weird. It's in my brain. I'm swimming, and then I feel something hit my chest, like boom. And that moves my whole body backwards.
Oh my god!
And I was like, "Oh man,
what?"
I was like, "Whatever. I should probably go back in." And as I'm swimming in, I'm like, "I'm in the ocean." Wait a second, I'm not in the Great Lakes. And I start swimming faster and faster and faster.
That's freaky.
When I got back to the beach, I was like, "Man, that thing was pretty big."
And you're just like, you're feeling.
My heart started racing. It was after the fact. I'm glad it wasn't in the water because there's nobody out there.
You just have a freak out moment in the middle. Oh man,
that was the worst thing ever.
Goodness. Now I've had that feeling. We talked about this, didn't we, on maybe a previous podcast? If not, then okay, cool. But the dolphin that I saw, and it started freaking me out a little bit because they were very close, and I was like, cool, and I started swimming out to it. And then
when were you swimming with the dolphins?
What? Oh, Guam.
Oh, okay.
There was Guam.
We haven't heard this story.
Oh, okay. Well, this is another story stacked on another story stacked on another story at this point. Okay. We'll save that one. But the quick version of that is when you're close to them, they're very powerful. And you have to have that respect. So I totally get what you mean. Even the slightest like bump would be a big bump from an animal that big.
Yeah.
A mammal in the water.
But like, cause like I've been in lakes and stuff and like with bass fish.
Oh, I've had
like
a fish
big,
nibble on my toe. I've had
like they bite your nipple or something.
That's a thing. I remember that. Joe Stinson. And we jump in naked into his pond. You know, it was like becoming a man or something. I don't know what. And the fish
You're not a man unless you skinny dip in a pond.
100%. If he's listening to this, he knows that it is the truth, and he's laughing. He's laughing hard. Yeah. So I was on the paddleboard, and well, first of all, let me give you the experience. So it's perfect. It's perfect Florida weather because it's actually slightly cooler. It's not like deathly crazy. So believe it or not, though, even the waters weren't like that super hot bath water, which everyone loves, I know, but I actually don't.
But this is shark time. This is like when the cold front's coming in.
Yeah, and I didn't realize it when we came back.
It's you and me out in the ocean all by ourselves, fighting off the sharks with no glasses.
Oh my gosh.
No nothing. Fish biting our nipples.
Oh,
eating them off.
Now we've said nipples on our show too. This is wow. We're in trouble.
Okay,
I know,
continue.
But that's okay. Well, the lady who, so we go up to the hut and they're like, "Hey, how's it going?" Blah blah blah. We're like, "Yeah." So we were wondering about the rental for the paddle boards, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, it's $30 or whatever an hour or something like that, right?" So we're like, "All right, one time experience. We'll go for 1 hour. This is gonna be cool." Everett has done this, by the way, already. So he swears by the fact that it's fun, and I believe him. Because he's my friend, and so it's super laid back. Friend. Yeah, he was my friend. No, it's super laid back. It's funny because I'm looking at there's the girl who's probably like in college and like just making her money, just sitting there all day on the beach, like telling people what to do. Right. So
she's done this a billion times.
She's like flying through.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, wait. So I have like a wallet in my pocket and I've got like a GoPro in my hand because I want to record it. By the way, I have the footage of it happening. So yeah, yes, I have that. Anyway, cool. Maybe we could post it. I don't know.
Oh, good.
I do have my shirt off, so you do see my nipples, as you've been saying.
Oh, yeah, I have to put it
put like a little blur. Yeah,
no explicit on the podcast. There's an option when you upload it if it's explicit.
Oh man, here come the followers now. Okay, so I'm standing on the paddle board. Oh, sorry. So I tell the lady, we want to do it. Blah blah blah. She's like, okay, you going like that? And I'm like, well, yes. And Everett was looking at me. I was looking at him. I didn't know what to say. And I was like, well, yeah. And she's like, oh, okay. And it was really funny because speaking of, nipples and everything, I was like, oh, so you're just trying to get our shirts off, because the other guys in there were laughing and everything. Because they're like, well, and now are we ready? It was kind of the thing. And then she started getting embarrassed and everything. We were all laughing. She wasn't majorly embarrassed. She was laughing. And then she's like, yes, exactly. And ha ha ha. Okay. Anyway, the point was, now I have like a wallet, which, by the way, I'd just been paid for something I had sold. So I had a little bit of cash in there.
$4.
Well, for me, it was a lot of money, but maybe for everyone that was on that, really expensive beach, maybe it wasn't. But still, I was a little bit anxious over it when they're like, yeah, no, you can leave all your stuff with us and we're going to put it right here. And she presumed to set it basically out on the, just next to the furthest point, if you will, of the counter there, in the corner. So you got this wide open hut, and I'm like thinking to myself, out of all, there's cubbies down there, can you put it down there? It's not you guys actually that I'm worried about stealing it. It's like, the 12-year-old, the 12-year-old kid that's like, oh, cool, I can get my new toy.
The 12-year-old kid that just shot a chipmunk and is looking for some money to go buy some candy.
Exactly. Well, okay, so
you got out.
I'll get there. Okay, so we get out to the water.
With there's a guy all there. Your stuff.
Okay, so all I had was a GoPro, and then you're not required to wear. They don't force you to wear the life jacket, but you have to have it with you, right? Because it's already a paddleboard that you can grab onto as a it's like your.
Is it tied to your ankle like a surfboard?
No, not the paddleboard. I think if you wanted to, there was it was like one of those bungee strap kind of things at the front. So you could put things and items there. You could probably attach yourself to it, all that kind of stuff. I know what you mean. On a surfboard, it did not have a safety, harness thing like that. It was not major. There were no major waves either. There was enough to knock you over, as I found out. But it's not. It wasn't even close to when we were in Lake Michigan.
Yeah.
As kids, you remember, the big old waves. It actually wasn't much of that even at the time, but the tide was going out. So, Everett, and I was looking at Everett, and I was thinking to myself, a lot of the people who we saw paddleboarding and everything are all coming in, and we're going out, here we go, and everyone else is don't go out there.
Again, another newbie mistake when I was jumping into the ocean.
Yeah.
All by myself.
Oh man. And
pay attention to the people around you, what they're doing.
Oh, the undertow, man, that's a big deal. Anyway, so we get out there, and you start on your knees and kind of just paddle out there to get comfortable, right? And you get through. Honestly, you start kind of on the ground, on the floor of the ocean, and you're pushing your board out, kind of, right, to get through the first waves. Because past those waves, it's pretty steady.
Past the waves that are breaking.
Yeah, the breaking waves, right? So we got through that, and I got on just fine, and I'm paddling out there. Now I'm wearing my glasses. I'm thinking, I've done this. I've pools and everything, even the ocean. I've worn my glasses. They're sunglasses that are prescription, basically, but they're transitional. Okay, so they're not sunglasses, but whatever. Anyway, I go out there, and we're just, I'm getting used to it, and I try it once, and I fall in, once, and I'm like, okay, all right. So now I know what to do, and I widen my stance a little bit on this next try, and I, start getting a feel for it. I'm like, okay, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. Sorry. And so our section, there's these buoys that, section us off or whatever, and we're supposed to stay inside those buoys. And right next to us are all the sea-doos, as some people call them, or
jet skis.
Yeah, jet skis.
What the heck is a sea-doo? Is that what they call them?
Yeah, I think so. There might be, because I know there's wave runners and other forms and formats of riding the waves, if you will, the waters. But yeah, I thought they were called sea-doos. Maybe that's a California thing.
Maybe a ski-doo.
Not a ski-doo.
Is the snowmobile, and the sea-doo is the wave runner.
Oh, well, actually, that might actually be it.
I don't know. I'm not looking.
Anyway, jet skis. We'll call them jet skis. They were right next to us, right? So they're causing a little bit of waves. This is my excuse anyway, okay? But and Everett, he's like half, my size, and he's just like bloop. He just goes right on top, and he's just, yeah, it's really fun, Joe. Why aren't you joining me? So here I go. I start trying to get up, and it's one of those things where any shift, like the whole board's like, poof, 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 moving under me very quickly, right? And so your adjustments become adjustments to your adjustments, and it slowly expands.
That's like when people are on hoverboard that they're doing the shake back and forth. Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't know what that's like.
Oh man, I can't imagine. I think I recall a very good moment we should bring up on the podcast.
Continue moving past that point.
Well, anyway, so I set up the GoPro and I've got one hand on that, and then I'm like, oh cool, I can tie it onto the board, and I'm trying to do that, and I'm talking to it, trying to like vlog just a little bit because I enjoy that, So I'm like, hey, cool, I'm out in the ocean, here I go, and I like stand up, and I'm doing great, but I keep like my glasses are falling down.
Oh, because they're wet, like from moisture and sweat.
So they're falling down my nose a little bit. And I'm like, so I'm trying to get my hand up to adjust. And like the waves are like a little bit funky. But I'm like, okay, so then I stop and then I put my paddle back into the water, which is a little deceiving because you there's no bottom. So if you're moving forward, that helps, right? When you put something in, you have constant pressure on your paddle. That gives you support to feel the confidence to have balance.
Interesting.
But when you first enter, it's like, woo, it's just, there's nothing there. So really, I in a fake way kind of put that down. I'm like, oh wait, that's not helping. And now I'm shifting a little bit more.
It's pulling you to that side.
Well, then I'm like, okay, wait. And then I got it. And I thought, this is it. I feel good. This is it. I feel good. And I go to adjust in the video. You can see it. I go to adjust my glasses, and it looks like I push myself backwards, and I start running off the back end of the board.
Oh,
yeah, because the board just once you lose, yeah,
it's like somebody pulled the rug out from under you,
100%,
and you went backwards.
Yes, and you see me go in with my glasses and come out without them on the video. So,
and there's no, how deep was it?
I mean, we could have dove and got it because you could see the bottom and it was pretty clear. But I didn't realize they were off, like right away. As funny as that sounds, I do so much swimming in both ways. Like if I'm in a pool, obviously a lot of times I'll wear it while the kids are playing, and I'm just, cause I want to see them. I want to make sure I can see them. But if I'm swimming really hardcore, like I'm going to actually like go underwater and all that, then I take them off. So I'm used to taking them off too. So I
just lose your spot by the time you realize it. You're like,
oh man.
Could be
so remember the
now.
tide thing? We look up, and the guy had told us, okay, don't go past the buoys on this side. Don't go past the red umbrellas on that side. And then don't go past the buoys way out there, like way out there. And I'm like, aren't those the buoys that he said?
We're not supposed to go past.
Yeah. And, sure enough, we had drifted from the time that I was trying to start to get on the board. So this is like the third try or something like that. To, by the third try, we had started at the original very close buoys, and now we're like 3 buoys out, And anyway, so somewhere in there, my glasses, these painted artist glasses, are sitting at the bottom of the sand. And hey, when we came back up, the lady was, or all of them, there were 3 people in the hut. They were all like pretty impressed because in the sense that they were like, you were on the edge of where we start making phone calls because you're gone. Like we have to get somebody, basically is what they were implying. They were like, you weren't there yet, but you were getting pulled out so fast. They were like, when we saw you start coming back, we're like, okay, they're
so did you paddleboard back, or did you lay down and like doggy paddle it?
No, I paddleboarded back, but not standing, because now that I couldn't see, it just made it worse. And we were looking for the glasses. So I stayed on my knees for a good bit of it, but you can also kind of like sit on it, and paddle. So I did that a little bit because your thighs need a break. When you sit in that position, oh my gosh, they were just on fire. Like Everett said the same thing. It was easier standing, on your legs than it is to like kind of have your knees in that position.
Just lay on it.
Yeah, but I'd be out to sea. So it took everything. I got really tired coming back in because we were fighting the tide the whole way. I remember like paddling like you would, like
it's nothing's getting closer.
Yeah, I was looking left and right, and I'm like, those are the same buoys. We've been paddling for like an hour. Anyway, that's what they were a little bit concerned at one point, he said. And then he's like, once you started making it to the next buoy, we're like, okay, they're going to make it. But they have
meanwhile,
had that
they're going through your pockets of your things. He's going to die anyways.
Yeah.
All the stuff.
Then they felt bad. They felt bad when I told them about my glasses, and they put all the money back in my wallet, you know. The worst part of it was I knew at that moment I had to get back and figure out a plan. So I told Bethany to ship me my backup pair, and it all didn't work out, even though we thought it did, because she's like, oh cool, I made it. But the problem was she had made it just like the store where the drop off was still open, but the last truck technically had already left. Right. And the next day was Sunday.
FedExing, overnighting.
Yes. And it was Sunday the next day.
Oh yeah.
So even though on our quote it says, oh, it'll arrive by Monday in the afternoon, and the next show I had was Monday night. And this is like Troy Aikman's going to be there. A bunch of like NFL people. Like, this is a big deal. And I've got to do.
I saw Randy Couture.
Yep. Randy Couture's there.
He didn't play football.
We got to. No?
He's a fighter, man.
Yes. Yes.
He's also on movies.
He's on the screen.
Yep. Things. He was in Pretty Women.
No, he was not.
He was the one that got flown to.
I know.
Oh, no.
I know because but we got to save that for another one, because there's a lot of stuff that happened out there. But I feel like I did a lot of storytelling today, and that's fine. That's fine. I do it a lot probably, but anyway. It was, there's a lot to tell. There was so much that happened over this weekend. It was nuts. So my glasses are at the bottom of the ocean somewhere. I'm currently wearing contacts. Yes.
So you went to how did you get to contacts though?
Okay. Well, so we made it to, our event was in Dallas, and
you were in Florida.
We were in Florida, but the following day we were going to be flying to Dallas. And that would have been Sunday. A lot of times we try to get to our event location the day before, because we want to always make sure all our bags and everything get there and all that, right? So it gets us a chance to get set up sometimes, or check in, all that. So anyway, we get to Dallas on Sunday, but no one's open. Like, not eye doctors kind of open, right? Like, that's not. So
you had to fly and do all that blind.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Blind glasses and a walking stick, or just hold on to Everett the whole time?
Well, I skipped something.
Because you're pretty blind too. What's your prescription?
It's bad. Well,
is it like -5, -4?
No, it's -4 and -4.5.
Mine is -6.5.
Goodness.
Yeah.
I have that stigmatism too, which makes it a little bit funky.
Well. I think it's my left eye.
Dude, you're
shaped like a cone. People don't poke my eye. I poke them.
I just launched the microphone. Okay, there. That's crazy, man. I didn't know it was quite that bad. I knew
it's pretty bad. So I lose my glasses. I really am Mr. McGowan.
Oh my goodness. Mr. Magoo?
Yeah.
So that's what Daniel, my manager, said. He's like, how's it been being Mr. Magoo? Because that's what I basically was. And I actually did have a performance that night too.
You did it without your glasses?
Yes. That was the one with Rob O'Neill.
Well, you're nearsighted, so
I could see like the texture of the canvas, and I could see color and basic shapes. And so I knew that. And Lady Liberty, which was what I painted, she turned out great. So I was pretty anxious about it. I'm sure Everett was too.
Wow.
We had done a few tests beforehand.
Did you warn people that it was? No, I lost my glasses. Sorry.
No, I actually even went the other way. I told only the people at our table.
This is going to be my best one ever.
No. Okay, not like that. But I decided to make sure that I didn't scare the client.
Oh,
see what I mean? So like give them extra stress, because there isn't any fix for it. It's not like you could go to Walmart, get some readers or something. That's the wrong way. It makes it worse.
Right.
There just wasn't, and I knew I could do it. Even though I was a little bit nervous, I still knew that it was definitely going to happen. But I started joking with some people afterward. I told a few people, I was like, hey, this is what happened. He's like, I thought you looked different. Because I didn't have my glasses
I'm over
on.
here.
Yeah.
You look different the way you're staring at the wall.
But everything, like the little things. So like Everett's getting ready and I'm getting ready, whatever. And I don't know where the bathroom is at this hotel big thing, right? So I'm like, hey, Everett, I need to use the restroom, man. And he's like, okay, cool. Yeah, I think there should be one down there and take a look. And I'm like, I can't read. I kind of looked at
the
him.
signs.
And he's like, oh, right. So he has to like walk me to the bathroom.
Yeah, here you go.
Here's where you're going, Joe. Goodness.
Oh, my goodness.
It was fun. All in all, it worked out.
I'm glad it worked out. This would be a very stressful situation.
Sheesh. There's more. I can tell more. Maybe we can include it in another episode or something.
Yeah, I think we'll probably do that. Are you gonna... going back to the original thing that we started on, looking at this flag here, and then you're talking about the jacket. Are you going to seal the jacket when it's full, you think? Like put it in a glass case and grate it or something?
Oh, man, yeah. I definitely feel like it's a very... So right now I like using it, and I want to fill it up as much as possible, and I'll definitely retire it. There are a couple items that I've gotten to that level with, like even some of my brushes that are performance brushes, that, they're basically rusting out because of all the times I've cleaned them, washed them, whatever. And they get all the, but that along with things like the jacket, some of the first items I used,
kind of one of a kind. So
yeah, I think so. I always get comments from people saying, hey, you auction off those shoes, or can you auction off your pants, or the jacket or whatever. And I know that sounds funny, but no, you know what I mean?
It's a part of your signature.
Yeah.
I wonder how much those glasses are worth.
Whoever can find them.
Last week on Hidden Artist Treasure Glasses.
Treasure glasses.
In the ocean.
Oh man.
All right. Times. Well, this is probably the longest episode we ever done, guys. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, that was it. Was the X-rated version of Joe Ken Around.
Okay, sure.